Good morning, awesome artists. If you remember last week, we talked about the Batik art style and how it uses a waxy material, or in our case, oil pastels, and then some type of liquid ink or paint to make a print. So what we're gonna do today, last week we drew out your pumpkin really big and we got our design down. This week, I'm gonna show you how we're gonna make an outline, and we're gonna start using our waxy material, which is our oil pastel. First thing you're gonna do is you're gonna get a piece of chalk. Okay, hang with me. What we're gonna do with our chalk is I'm just gonna outline or go over all of my pencil marks. And I'm doing this pretty thickly, okay? Be careful whenever you're doing this because obviously our chalk is not gonna stick to your paper. So I'm just overlapping. Now friends, you might be wondering why in the world are we using chalk if it's not sticking to our paper? Whenever we go to add our oil pastels, we're gonna go around our chalk. And when you're done with this project, the chalk places that you're adding are actually gonna be where our paint or ink go. So that part is gonna be black and sort of gives that outline. So whenever you do this, be sure you add your chalk pretty thickly. If you don't, then you're not really gonna be able to see your outline of it. So I'm even gonna do my leaves down here, going around it, not dragging my hand through it by accident because I'm even gonna do the bottom. Because it will smear, because like I said, it's not sticking to your paper. We're just using it for outline. Now, after you have outlined your whole pumpkin and you put it on pretty thickly, every table is gonna get some oil pastels. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna design our pumpkins using different colors. So for mine, I'm gonna pull out some colors that are warm, that pumpkins usually have in them. So I'm grabbing a dark orange, a light orange, and a little yellow. You could even do an orangish red if you wanted to, or a lighter orange, or a yellow orange, anything like that that you've seen in a pumpkin, you can do for this. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use my oil pastels, and I'm gonna bleed and blend them together for each section of my pumpkin. Now, when you do this, friends, I want you to work each section of your pumpkin one at a time. So what I mean by that is, I'm gonna start in this section over here. I'm not going over my chalk, or I'm trying not to, because remember, that chalk is there because we're gonna wipe it off, and that is where your outline's gonna be. So I'm starting with my light orange in this one section. I'm not smearing into my chalk. Then I think I'm gonna go to my darker orange. Notice whenever I start to add color to it, you might have a really harsh line on your pumpkin. Okay, we don't want that harsh line right there. We want it to be able to blend together. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna layer my colors. Layering means I'm just gonna add my colors on top of each other. So I'm gonna go in with my lighter colors. Normally use your lighter color to blend your pumpkin. It will probably work a little bit better than your darker one. Now, can you tell the difference? How this one's blended together and there's no harsh lines? If you can tell that difference, that's awesome, because that's what I want you to do. So for my next one, so I did one section, I'm gonna do my next section. I'm starting with that lighter orange, not going over my chalk marks. Now some of your oil pastels might be a little small, just where we've used them, but that's okay, because they will still work. I think this time I'm gonna add some yellow in the middle of my pumpkin instead of that bright orange, just to give it a little bit of a difference. I'm using my yellow to blend it together. All right, friends, we're gonna keep working on this. doing each section at a time. When you get done with all of your pumpkin parts, you can do your stem and your leaves at the bottom. After we finish it completely, I'm going to show you how we are going to add some black ink or paint to it and give it that printed look.